Hello, welcome. Welcome to From Startup to Take Over, the Watch Us Work podcast. I'm your co-host, Latrice, and we also have my cousin. Kim, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Hi, Kim.
Hello, hello. I'm Kim.
All right,
What's going on?
so today is episode 3, and today it is pretty much a continuation from yesterday. But
No.
I'm sorry, from Tuesday.
Yeah. How's your day going? What's been
Pretty
going on with you? How are you enjoying Juneteenth?
You know what? Um, I'm relaxing. I'm reflecting. And I think
Mm,
that this third episode of Don't Put Them Babies Out kind of goes well with the celebration of Juneteenth today and,
mhm.
representation of Black families and what we are doing now, um,
Right.
from growth. So I think today lines up pretty well. How about you?
I'm good. Nothing too much. Just enjoying the day. Like enjoying the day. Juneteenth. I really didn't know it was a holiday.
Really?
Took out the trash and everything. Like I really didn't know it was a holiday. It's a holiday to me every day. So I don't know. I didn't look at it as a holiday. I didn't even realize put the trash out. And my daughter was like, Mom, the garbage man is not gonna run today. It's a holiday. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't see any fireworks or hear anything, any barbecues or anything. So I didn't think anything about it.
Oh, well, yeah, that one doesn't
Just enjoying the day. Let me smell some barbecue and let me see some flags too, because Juneteenth for us is
yeah,
independence. So
yeah.
where's our flags and barbecue and parades? So, I mean, I guess it's some around the world, but or the country or whatever, but not so many, not in the spotlight that we can see. That's why we're Juneteenth. Don't put them babies out.
Yeah. It's only been approved for the past 3 years, I think. So it's still and you know how the representation is um for that. So I think it's gonna be a slow roll, and Trump, doing something this year where he had it where the federal agencies would not do like a mass celebration at their organizations, something like that they couldn't celebrate. So
Um,
he didn't wipe away the holiday, but he did do something which I can't remember what he did. But yeah, so again, episode 3, don't put them babies out, goes well with this because yesterday we were this ending. I keep saying yesterday, Tuesday,
Tuesday. Hmm.
we were having that discussion about entrepreneurship and the growth, the involvement between Black families and what's happening now. And you were kind of wanting to discuss, should we kind of lead towards more so entrepreneurship for our children versus go to college, go get a job, right? And so that put us where we are today, which is a continuation now of, okay, well, are we putting our children out too soon, right?
Hmm. And just to go back a little bit on what we were saying Tuesday, I think if like like I said, if we were to start them up small and instill being entrepreneurs or teaching them how to be that or showing them, guiding them, or even put them in places where they can be that, I think that they would want to stay home longer because now um we're putting into them.
Hmm.
We're helping them to grow, so they won't want to go home so quick. I mean, they won't want to leave home so quickly. And regardless, because they'll put the babies out. Sometimes we like, you gotta go, or whatever. But knowing now, like I said, if you know better, you'll do better. Train them up
Absolutely.
the way you would want them to go. So if we want them to be entrepreneurs or work for themselves or enjoy life, I think we should train them up as babies, and that way they won't want to go out of home, and we don't have to put them babies out. I
Ah, check your text message also.
did, I
Yeah.
did.
Okay. But yeah, so you know, I feel that it's great to present it to them. I think that we at least need to let them know that there is more
Mm-hmm.
out there other than going and working for someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can work for your family business if the family has already started one. But let's just say like right now where we are today, the majority don't have that in play, right?
Right.
So how do we start? So would that just be
What do you
introducing
mean?
it, making sure you're putting it out there, even though our family, let's say someone's family who does not have a business that their children can go work for, to at least still start the entrepreneurship conversation, right?
Right. But
Go
if
ahead.
you're if you if you're guiding them to that, we don't think that way because we didn't ever have it. So we're not gonna think that way to guide them into being entrepreneurs. If you it's whatever you instill in the child at home as they grow, it's like a sponge. They're gonna absorb it, and they're either gonna keep it or let it dry. And
That's
if you keep watering, they will grow and maybe want to stay at home because now, oh, we're putting into them, and they feel like we are there for them instead of wanting them to leave. Because sometimes I believe the kids are ready to go because we make them feel like we have to leave instead of
mhm,
making them feel like, no, you can stay here because I'm putting into you.
mhm.
I'm putting time in with you. I'm helping you. You don't have to go. Versus you graduate, you getting out of here, you're going to school, you're going to get a job. You remember I was saying that last time that you was like, what's your opinion?
um Pretty much the same, because and the reason why I say I agree that, let me say this first. I do agree that it should be introduced. The only thing for me is I don't think that it's an automatic that they're going to want to do it, right?
Right,
Only because that was my personal experience, my children's experience. So you do have those dynamics where you're talking about it, you're showing them, right? But it's
at what
not what they
age?
want at that time.
At what age?
What do you mean at what age? For me, I was in
What
elementary.
age do you start? What age
You
do you
start
start?
I think like my so I have a 6-year-old. He see
Mhm.
everything that I do, right?
Right.
He knows
Yeah.
that his parents have their own business. But at this point, he's 6, right? He wants to join the
Right.
military. So, well,
Why?
let me take
Because
let me take this back. That's one of the things he wants to do. He also
why?
said he wanted to be a governor, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he said he wanted to be a governor. He wants to be a police. So he looks at different things, and whatever kind of draws in his attention is what he'll say at the moment that he wants to do.
Where is
So
he getting the most of his guidance from to want to do those things? Where is he getting that from?
his home.
From
Yes,
you, the
but
dad, the
mhm,
brothers, the sisters? Okay.
but so did
Mhm.
my daughter, so did my sons, and even with
At
my
younger
daughter,
age.
yeah, she started, I would say, probably around 8 or 9. She knew about the
Hmm.
entrepreneurship, and she first said she wanted to own her own bakery, and then that has changed, right? Again, I
Right.
told you the route that she wants to take. So, and that's why I feel it should be introduced to let them know that they don't have to go out and work for
Hmm.
someone all their years, right?
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
they can take another route and even through the entrepreneurship thing. So for me, I feel it's something that should be introduced but not mandated, because it is proven you can go out and build these great corporations and leave it to your children; they'll sell it. So I think people have to make sure that it's something their children want,
Hmm.
and they're not saying it just to get it. It just think about. let me finish my thought. To just get it, and then when you pass on, they sell your corporation that you've worked
Mhm.
years for. Because this also happens with real estate. These parents have these homes. They're outright, the family, the parents pass, and those kids sell that house for $1 instead of keeping it in the family, right? And
Mhm.
splitting the profits from it and growing from there and adding more rental property. Is proven over and over again. Everybody don't want the same thing.
Mhm.
Give it to those who want the same thing, which is why it's great to introduce it. And if they want it, it's there. Hey, if they come back around later and want it, the opportunity is there. That's what I like.
And
Um,
that's good. And the thing about it is that they know that mom or dad is not rushing them out of home, and they may want to stay because
yep,
of that.
yep, hmm,
They
yeah.
may want to stay home and like be entrepreneurs or help me or whatever, whatever. They may want to stay home and do that because now you are still like your baby. He wants to go off and be a governor, but he's 6 years
He's sick,
old, and he maybe he will,
right?
keep that mentality that he wants to be a governor, but maybe not.
Yep.
But because you've introduced him to so many avenues of life
Hmm.
in well, military, not entrepreneur, but other things that you have introduced to him. It's kind of like, and governor is an entrepreneur to me. Shoot, you got to be an entrepreneur to go be a governor.
Um,
I think so.
you're taken
You
care
have
of, so you wouldn't have to be an entrepreneur to go be a governor, though. But you
well,
know,
well, not in a sense of
yeah. But I just
anything, but
what I like is, and what I'm actually practicing. And I think families are doing this now. And that's another thing. I noticed that you do be saying, girl, if the Georgia ain't came out of me just then. I you do say that
okay,
we're
you
not,
did.
we're not, but people are introducing these things to their children, right? And I think it's because the exposure is out here now.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you say kids, they're ready to leave home, if I got no cousins, they weren't ready to leave home, and they didn't leave home, and they had nothing to do with entrepreneurship. They were not ready to leave home, and they didn't leave home for a
Yeah.
while, you know?
Well, was it? How was the temperature in the home with them not leaving home for a while?
Yeah, so that's another thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that plays a part. I think we was kind of about to get into that on Tuesday when you were like, "Are we running these babies off?" I think to a certain degree, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They start getting the itch,
Mm-hmm.
probably when they're what, 15, 16. They're
Mm-hmm.
smelling themselves, as we like to say as parents. I was ready to escape, as I call it, not understanding completely, but I
Mm-hmm.
was ready to start my own family. See, I never was the kind, which is why I pushed back with my dad um early on. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have a family. I wasn't trying to seek money. I had in my head to get married, have children, and raise a family. Life swung me in this direction where I am now. But this was never my ultimate thing. I don't think business wise is the go all for majority of us. I think family unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think with the family unit being pushed in another, I can't even say in another direction, it's not even being pushed, it seems. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of feel like too many people have been taught to go get the money.
Yep.
And I could feel that way because it's what I see on
Mm-hmm.
social media. Because if I go backwards when I was younger, well, no, yeah, because I was told go to school, start your own business. It was still
That's right.
me.
Yeah.
And I just have a thing where I feel the family unit has been kind of pushed on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
And in
I,
doing so, I also feel that's because a lot of us aren't spiritually guided.
I
properly.
was about to say it because the world now or in past, they're living on, they're living opposite of what the word says. And the word says labor to be rest. Instead of labor to rest, we labor to work. We labor to slave. In the word said labor to rest in what he's done. So people are not laboring to rest in what Jesus has done. They're laboring to get rich.
Absolutely.
No one's laboring to rest. That's what I'm saying. So me, even though I had that spiritual in my family, but I didn't know. So I wasn't taught to labor to rest. Labor your to go to work. So do you want your little shoes? You want to look like this? You want this or that? Look where you're living. Labor to go to work. I was never taught to labor to rest. That's why I say you know better, you do better. Now everyone's not going to do what I do because everyone's not on my level of where I am spiritually. And spiritually is for me now that I know better, I will labor to rest. And meaning, like I would tell one time I told my son, and then I was like, he telling he was going, having a little problem with getting the job. Wow, years and years and years ago. And I was like, okay, God don't need you to be panicking or nothing because of bringing anything, any kind of word is not going to help anything. It's not going to bring one thing to your life. He said he don't need anything for you but to believe and to rest. And I said, not to what people take, as I said, to believe and just rest, don't do anything. No, if you got to have a job, you want to work and you want to make money and you have to go get a job because you don't have any other source or any other thing going on, you have to go put an application in. You have to let the people know you want the job. That's laboring to rest. Do your part and then rest and let God know, let him do the rest. So that's what I'm saying, to teach them the way they should go, not to labor to go out there and just work, 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 work. No, labor to rest and hear what God say. And because he may give you that job that where you sweat this victory. But we don't know because we're just pushing them to work, work, work. And if they don't work, 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 we cussing them out. They're sorry. They're not doing this. They're doing that. So, oh, those babies gone. We put them out. Stop putting them babies out.
So I, I hear
Yeah.
you. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm losing my train of thought.
Yeah, because I threw you off with saying what that word said. Yeah.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
no, no, not about what no, not about what the word says. That's
Mm-hmm.
not throwing me off. What's throwing me off was I had it right on the tip of my tongue. It'll come back to me. But it has something to do with don't put them babies out before you came
Yeah.
back around and said don't put them babies out. That's what it was tied to.
Because we're
Um,
putting them out.
there, I'm glad you just said that. So
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it though. I hear you, but I don't see that, right?
Why don't you see it?
Because so if I
Your
look at
your your dad
hold
and
on,
your mom put you out because
they
they
did
didn't
not.
put you
Hold on,
out
baby.
for say
Hold on.
no,
My parents
no,
put
not
me out.
wait,
Help me
I'm
out.
just not for say, but not they get out, Latrice. I'm saying by your growing up and seeing things, you were ready to go. It's like they put you out.
Oh,
That's
well, I
what I'm
was ready to
saying.
get married. No, no. Okay. So what I okay, let's go back to what I was saying as far as me.
Look back
I
from the money.
I was ready as a young child, teenager, right? So I fell in love in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was ready to get married and have my own children because not from looking at it like, oh, my parents, I got to hurry up and get up out of here, or my life is just so miserable. No, I was ready because I thought, even as a child, I've been praying to God in the morning and in the evening since I was 7 years old. I thought, and I still feel, my thing is family unit.
Mm-hmm.
So I was ready to start my life, and I didn't want it to be through college. I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to go start my own business. I wanted to get married, start on that family unit. And I had this whole idea. And my marriage was horrible.
Okay.
So from there, I decided to get a job because I wasn't working when I was married. But I
Mm-hmm.
decided to get a job so I can take care of, at the time, my one child, which is when I joined the military. while I was separated from my ex-husband. So for me, it was because I thought what we're supposed to do as women:
Mm-hmm.
get yourself a husband, raise your children, take care of your family. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I was ready to go.
Mm. Well, I didn't
Not
think that way.
right. No, I got you. I hear you. And so even when
No.
if I look at my siblings, um, with my sister that lived in the house, we were thinking get married and let's, do this. And relationships go bad and people turn based off of a relationship going bad. At least what I've seen for women, right?
And
The
and that's why it's
Go ahead.
that's why it's level to these things,
It
because like
is.
you were ready to go for the reason of you just want to go be married and whatever. I didn't, because my brain was still a child brain and it wasn't functioning like that, and it wasn't thinking about you getting married because you want to get married and be a wife. No,
So
I
you didn't
still
think
had
that
a
at a
kid.
at a young
I
at a
did
young
not.
age?
I did not think that as a
Mm.
young age. I did not, because that's not. It was no thinking like that. It was just thinking you in love. I didn't even really understand what marriage what it were. I was just in love, and I was in love with my husband, just in love, and didn't know anything. I didn't know nothing about that. It's a lot of things going on. My brain was still a child's brain. That's why I said if we guide them the way they should go, some maybe they won't. And maybe it's good to be married at an early age, or out the house, or going to school at an early age for some people, but some
For
people
some. Yep.
may
Hmm.
need extra maturity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
we
that's why I
put them
was
out
saying,
there.
remember I was saying on Tuesday, I just think the family dynamic will determine that stuff is I don't believe it's in let's just send everybody this route. I think it all depends on the family dynamics. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and these little
It
people have
does.
voices, especially when we're talking about 17, 18, right? Because we all
Right.
develop differently.
Yeah.
So that's why for me, I kept saying it just really depends. I couldn't give an absolute yes. Now, the introduction, absolutely. But I also think if your child is an artist, because you should tap into that. I think it's whatever area their little brain is sending them in,
Mm-hmm.
we should go, you know what? Yeah, because remember the 6-year-old I told you, I remember he was like 3.5, honey. He was talking about he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to direct a movie. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we went through
And,
that.
and
We had those discussions and start practicing. That's what I'm saying. Wherever their mind goes, you talk and lead them and guide them, but still
and
let
pour
them,
into them,
huh?
pour into them, let them
Absolutely.
grow.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But
then
the
as
household,
if you're pouring into them and letting them grow, and it's not the what the stigma of the world is: get a job, go finish school, go to college, get a job, get a
yeah.
family.
Hmm.
That is not life. Like, you don't have, that is not life. Like, if you know better, you'll do better. Like, we know better. Like, let's train the kids up the way to go. Pour into them. Maybe we didn't get poured into like we can now. Like you say, you have time. So you have time to pour into your 6-year old. Take that time and pour into him, pour into him. Then maybe when he turn of age, 18, Mom, I'm not ready to get.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just my 6-year-old, if I keep saying it's my
Oh
other
wait,
ones
yeah,
too.
I'm
My
just
kids
using the
just
baby.
chose not
Yeah,
to do it.
yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I
I
think,
was just
and I
using. I
think it's
hear
a
you on
lot.
that.
But you know what? This is why I'm saying I don't really know because
Every story is different.
no, I'm not even talking about just myself at this point. I'm thinking of even friends,
Mm.
and their children, young adults, stay with them while they're figuring it out. I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's really you can't because I actually my personal opinion, what I've seen a lot of is they've they've got their nipple and got their kids' mouth on their nipple too long. That's my personal opinion. That's why I feel
Why you say
a lot
that?
of because a lot of them
Why you
stay at
say that?
home because they sitting at home. A lot
And
of them are
doing
not
nothing.
nothing.
Okay, that's the difference.
Exactly.
They just
That's why I said it's just where do we start now? That's why I think it's about now. Like, are you talking to your friends with these type conversations? Um, have you
I
started
don't,
tapping them yet?
not of adults, because they have grown. Babies, it's time to start with babies because
Yeah, but they
adults
got
grown now.
grandkids, right?
Who?
Do your friends have grandkids yet? Or they
Yeah.
like me?
So yeah. So I do. We do talk about in pouring into the kids now. Well, the ones who have time and the ones who don't have time, they pouring into the kids
Yep.
in a way where they're showing them love and
Hmm.
I'm here, but they're still like they still have to work. And so the kids still see them work really hard and
Ah.
long to get what they need, get the necessities, to have a roof over their head, the car to
Yep.
drive, food in the mouth. They still see that.
Hmm.
So there's no one that's resting
Hmm.
to show the kids like you can still rest and be successful. Everyone's still slaving. You can still be on a job and resting, but you probably have to figure out. Yeah, that's why.
So one of the things that I think that tie into that is a lot of us don't know our purpose for being here. And
Right.
here's the thing: we all have a purpose. That's why we're here. The
Mm-hmm.
thing is, a lot of people or a lot of us don't know that,
Right.
right? So without even knowing that, how are they supposed to move forward? Which is why I was saying, well, have you started the conversation, right? That's a conversation
Because
piece.
we lack the knowledge.
Right.
We lack knowledge, and that's why
Right.
we perish, because we lack knowledge.
I
And
got
I'm
that
talking
part.
about God's knowledge.
Right. But what I'm
Go ahead.
Gotcha. But what I'm talking about is, so you got to start on your end having those conversations with your friends. I've got to start on my end having those
Right.
conversations with my friends because we're doing it. Because you told me already you've started with your grandchildren. I've started
I
with
do.
my children,
I
and I
do.
can't wait to get the grandchildren. Oh, let me take that back.
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple more years, a year and a half. Then I want to start getting the grandchildren. But um, it's great to start having that dialogue with our
Mm-hmm.
friends and
Mm-hmm.
family members, right?
Mm-hmm. And I do. I still
Because one of the
even.
things that I like to say is you can have a job,
Mm-hmm.
work on that passion in the middle of the night. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I listened to someone called Dr. Miles Monroe, and that's one of the things that he says, and I agree. Have your job because you know people have to eat,
Right.
and sometimes people start family. You know, early. I did. You know, I got married at 19, had a baby at 20,
Right.
but talk to God to find out what your purpose is,
Right.
and then in the middle of the night, or not necessarily middle of the night, but when you get home, you got your day job taken care of. Work on you. Because work is you. It's you.
It's
That's what work is. It's you. So
right.
that's when you can still. So I don't see nothing wrong
Well,
with seeing somebody work hard. It should be
it's
you working hard on yourself.
right, but it's hard to retrain the mind.
Eh, eh,
Yeah.
mine's
Yes.
got changed. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But
You.
hold on. So I would tell you,
Okay.
they told me this even when I was younger. I'm very optimistic. So
Yeah, like yeah, it's sometimes when you've been trained a certain way for years and years and years and years and years, and that's all you know, it's hard to change to look at something else.
mhm.
That's where we perish from lack of knowledge, because we don't know. And people think you want to hear what the world have to say. No, you need to hear what the Bible have to say, because if people listen and read, it's the blueprint for your everyday life. And then you have time to pour into those babies. You will have time to pour into those babies. I'm not talking you're saying pour into all of them. Like I said, grown-ups, it's hard to retrain the mind or change their ways. But a little kid, you train them up the way you want them to go. That little kid gonna either accept it or not. But it's in them. They're trained. Like
Mhm.
when my kids used to tell me I talked about God so much, or they were in
Mhm.
church or whatever, they were trained as little kids. As little kids, and then
Uh-huh.
after teenage type thing, a little bit, and after that, high school, that God kind of went away. You get what I'm saying? Not went away,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, no, I
went
got you.
away.
Back burner. Uh-huh. Put
So,
them on.
but because they were trained
Mhm.
as a child, they always went back. They
Absolutely.
always went back.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm saying. If we train the children, they can go back to what we train the little kids to what we're trained. They will never lose it. Even if they don't use it, they'll never lose it and maybe want to do it.
Right. And but I also think we'll be able to still capture some adults, right? I'm one
Right.
of those. I'm sorry. I just feel that there's always an opportunity for change as long as you're not 6 feet deep. That's just how I think. Um, so for me, and this is something I recall I used to tell my husband, when he was I think I told you this before. I can't remember, honey. When he was a teacher, you know, assistant or something like that. He had these two kids that were he just felt they weren't listening. I said, honey, you got to keep pouring into them. You have to keep telling them because everybody have alone moments. And in those moments, you have no idea what's going to come back to them. So you got to put it in them first. They have to hear it first. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have to hear it over and over and over again
Mm-hmm.
before something can click. That
Mm-hmm.
happens. That's real. So even the adults, don't count them out. They're still
Mm-hmm.
here. You do
Mm-hmm.
your part. You walk in what God has for you to speak to them,
Mm-hmm.
and you have that conversation. Because all we have to do is tell them. What they do with it is on them, and we never know who's gonna go, wait a minute, huh? Because see, you could have said something to them 6 months ago. All of a sudden, they're on social media and they see something that they do regularly, right? And
Right.
then they could be like, wait a minute, that's what I can get paid doing that. So that's what I'm saying. We need to just start having the conversations, even with our friends, and then let God do his work. It now it's not for us to beat them up. It's
No,
just for
no.
us to put it out there and have faith that it may sometimes that work, it takes a while, but let God work on that part. You've done your part to introduce that because we
Mm-hmm.
never know where information is coming from.
That's right.
So that's why I was saying, just even, I know you're saying with the babies, absolutely, but also with your adult friends, your adult family members, because people don't know. I talk to family members, I just don't tell everybody the family members that I talk to. And I'm always telling them, it's not over yet.
Mm-mm.
You can always change
But
it.
people
Now,
have to believe that.
huh?
People have to believe that. I think, like right now in the climate, it's like people are not. It's like a lazy syndrome.
Hmm.
Not even really lazy syndrome. It's like not lazy. Just take that back. I take that back. It's like they don't want to work hard for it. It's just give it to me. Let me get it right now.
That's what I think it is. Yeah.
I don't want to learn anything. Just give it to me right now.
It's
So
my money and I want it now.
that's why I say if you train them smaller,
Mhm.
then they can be saying, I want it right now because they're learning it and learning it and learning it and learning it. And once they get of age, then they can want it and maybe become entrepreneurs. That's what I'm saying. I'm playing you know, giving it I can't even say the word, but go ahead. I can't even say, I'm trying to say the word, but I'm trying to say,
I can't help you out, honey, because I'm trying. What word is she trying to say?
yeah, you're about
But
trying
yeah,
to think. Mm-hmm.
so I think that's something you and I can probably tap into. I'll discuss that with you offline. Something you just said. I think
Yeah.
I want to do. But
Okay.
yeah, so I definitely I'm with you about don't put the babies out.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, so we have to ease up on them a little bit because
we
we
do.
would used to be so hard. We have to just ease up a little bit. This generation, we need to ease up and just show a little bit more care. Maybe they will, change their ways or thinking. It's just like it. Maybe I feel like some of them don't feel love or nothing was poured into them, and they're on the
Mm,
wrong path. So that's why I feel like if we pour into babies now, then maybe we won't have what we have now.
I got you.
Hmm.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, so I think you guys, we are coming up on the end
Okay.
again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I like
it's like we're already here at the end of the third episode um from startup to takeover. the Watch Us Work podcast.
Mhm.
So again, as you know, as we continue on our journey, we hope that you guys continue to feel something as we come out here and just have open discussions with you guys. We hope that you were able to feel seen, inspired, heard, and that you can be reminded that you're not alone out here. We're here. This space is about real connection. And again, this is the beginning of our journey. If anything we said hit home, please go ahead and share this episode. Leave us a review and don't forget to subscribe to us. We've got so much more coming. You can follow us on social media where we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and also on YouTube. So please stay tapped in and most of all, keep showing up for yourself. And we will see you next Tuesday. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to add we are now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So, and you will find us every Tuesday and every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys for showing up. Have a good evening.
Watch it work.